Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we'll be talking about Tokyo. My name is Diana Belmonte. This is James Menorino and Toby Simpson. First, we'll be introducing you to Tokyo by going over its relevant features. The population of the Tokyo metropolis is technically a megacity. It has a population of 12.99 million people. But then Tokyo becomes a megalopolis once you look at the big picture with a population of 35 million people. It is home to 28% of Japan's population. It is a flat city, and it's located in an alluvial floodplain, and it has a subtropical climate with 4 distinct seasons. It has 5,937 people per square kilometer. Its annual budget as of 2008, which were the latest figures that I could find, was 91 billion US dollars. And just for comparison, we have New York City's 2008 budget, which was only $45 billion. So these are the general hazards of Tokyo. Tokyo is susceptible to seasonal flooding between May and October. This flooding has occurred in the past, present, and is likely to occur in the future. It can occur from things like extreme precipitation events or typhoons, which also can cause significant wind damage. Tokyo has 5 primary river basins: the Arakawa, Tamagawa, Sagamigawa, Tonagawa, and the Churumigawa. The flood-prone areas, logically, are in the areas near the rivers and near the coast. The flooding usually pools to the north and the west of the city. And as an example of typhoon damage, also it's the same thing as a cyclone, in July 2010, flooding inundated portions of northern Tokyo, forcing thousands to evacuate, but causing notably only 1 death. Tokyo is also prone to earthquakes and tsunamis. Japan, as a whole, rests on 3 tectonic plates and has approximately 1,500 seismic occurrences a year. Tokyo is prone to droughts, and these are likely to increase as climate change worsens. Intensive precipitation events where rain falls 10 millimeters or more. Heat waves. Tokyo's average temperatures are expected to increase between 2 to 3 degrees Celsius over the next 100 years. Tokyo already has a significant urban heat island problem. 80% of its surfaces are covered. And more powerful typhoons. More hurricanes are hitting the mainland than before, and storm strength is expected to increase as GHG levels rise. And obviously rising sea levels. Tokyo is at increased risk for flooding if sea levels rise a meter or more.
Tokyo's adaptive capacity is pretty large. At the national level, the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transport is committed to mitigation primarily through decreasing emissions through the transport sector and adapting infrastructure that is at risk to flooding. This ministry is the 2nd largest department of the Japanese government behind the Ministry of Defense, so it has an immense amount of resources behind it. At the regional level, around Tokyo, the metropolitan government is also very committed to adapting the city to climate change. And also, they've implemented this Tokyo Energy Savings Plan, which pretty much encourages people to evaluate whether or not their lifestyles are very energy intensive or not. Aspects of Tokyo that are most vulnerable are the aging population, the topography. A large portion of Tokyo is at or below sea level, and a heavy dependence on subway transit.
So we came up with 2 solid mitigation strategies for Tokyo. The first one is ecosystem restoration, and Japan already has a history of this, and as does Tokyo, and they've started doing restoration along their rivers. However, given that they have many resources as well as the public support, we pose that they should embark on an aggressive ecosystem restoration program throughout the entire city. This would have many co-benefits. Some of them include reduced water runoff, which will improve water quality in the river and in the bay, less severe urban heat island effect, and will promote wildlife conservation and diversification.
The second mitigation strategy is to create a renewable energy distribution network, one that is decentralized and to utilize or to scale up the production and the installation of these renewable systems. And this is to ensure that their previous energy plan prior to that disaster, as it previously stated, was to increase the total capacity by 70% between nuclear and renewables. We don't want them to fall back onto the dependent of fossil fuel technology.
And then two adaptation strategies. The first is water banking to help them deal with impending droughts, rainwater harvesting and retention, and utilize renewable energy sources to transport and treat the stored water. And this also will have co-benefits in a reduction of stormwater runoff.
Okay, so to implement these recommendations, we put together the following policies. First, we recommend bringing together citizen groups, local planners, and designers to commission a master plan of the city to implement this ecosystem restoration projects. It would involve reviewing and amending existing zoning regulations where applicable, and also maximize local support through outreach efforts for such projects.